Hello everybody, it's been a long while since I've been at the Vice to do a video. For that I apologise, life has a habit of getting in the way sometimes. But I'm back and I'm showing you a super simple pattern today. It's a black leech, it's had me loads of fish. And this works really well when others don't, and it also works really well in and around the wee beds, fished, pulling, relatively slow retrieve, but definitely retrieved. So let's get on and show you how to tie it. In the vise, I have a Togens Wet Fly size 10. I also have on that Togens Wet Fly size 10 a Togens Tungsten Cool Bead Metallic Rainbow 3.2mm. And then really, there's only another couple of materials you need other than the black thread. Tail, black marabou, body, peacock micro cactus chenille. This is from Vineyard, but you can get it from whomever. So let's kick on and tie the fly. So it's about catching the thread on, taking it down to where the bend of the hook starts, and then taking the thread back up. Those of you that have watched me tie leech patterns or lures or damsels before know I like to tie my marabou tails in behind the bead and work my way to the bend. And I like to do this because it guarantees that you will keep the tail material, the marabou, on top of the hook shank. The thread wraps, obviously, as you know, have a habit of, the tension of the thread wraps have a habit of bringing that material round to the side of the hook. And if you wrap it on top, it minimises the risk of that happening. So let's take some of the marabou off the stalk, snip off the curlies, and then we're going to tie that marabou in as a tail behind the bead. Pinch and loop, let's make sure it's nice and secure. And then back. And if you lift the marabou up slightly, you're almost using it like you would your tag end of thread. And there we are, we're good. Relatively slimline pattern this, so I don't want a big bulky tail. That is fine for me. So when we get to the end, we're going to do a couple of wraps underneath just to reduce the risk of the tail wrapping around the hook shank as you're casting. And then we're going to go for a tail about that long. Right, no flash needed in the tail, and we're just going to wrap the micro chenille in. So we're going to take the thread back up to behind the eye. We're going to start that chenille on my side of the hook, right behind the bead. As the chenille is the body, we want a nice, as even an underbody as we can get. With the uneven chenille material, you've got a little bit of leeway, but try and make it as neat as possible. So tie that down all the way to where the marabou starts, tie it back in, and then it is just a question of wrapping it. I like to counter wrap this, so I'll wrap it the opposite the way to the thread, and the reason again is thread tension. If I pull it over the top like this, it's going to pull that marabou tail over with it. If I go underneath first, the marabou tail stays exactly where we want it, and then we can go up in nice touching turns to create that body. Get a couple of tight turns in behind the bead because I left a little bit of a gap there with the marabou, and it also stabilizes the bead. And then when you've got what you need, it's just a question of tying it off. Couple of wraps, one more behind, pull it tight so the thread beds down, snip off your excess, whip finish. Use varnish if you want to. I tend not to. I tend to do 2 whip finishes, and I've never had them come undone. Bed the thread down, snip the thread off. that is it. That's my leech pattern. That is deadly. Slimline, as I say, I don't want it bulky. Leeches tend not to be bulky, certainly where I fish they aren't. But this does catch fish. Give it a go. See how you get on. Reach out to me on Instagram or via Togens if you need any advice or to let me know how you get on. And I will see you again next time. Thanks very much for watching.